Well, welcome back my gardening friends. Well, this is a thankful task. I've been bringing up 180 litres a day at the moment, and we have got some rain forecast, but we've got to do what's got to be done. What I do try and do is to bring up as about 180 litres. These take about 200, but let's call them 180 litres, and I'll leave this to stand then as long as I can. And we've got another drum over there in the middle of the screen which I fill periodically, and then we have another one here that I try and keep filled up. And the collection points on the hashtag starting a new allotment, the fruit garden, is we collect from the greenhouse, the guttering, you've seen the video. And when this is full, this is then connected via the tap underground, feeds into the fish pond. So during the summer I can just turn it on and keep that fish pond topped up. This end's blocked off. Greenhouse was always put in on a slope, and we cut a groove in the aluminium and the water disappears off. Now, the compost runoff bin was always getting very wet. This is a galvanised water tank that was holed right at the bottom, so no good for nothing else. So I decided to fit a roof cover. It's always been sloping so that the liquid plant foods come out. Must check. Forget to check and then it overflows. We're okay for a few more days. So then all that water comes off and then collects into this barrel. This roof space, the guttering slopes in two directions, so we've got a down pipe there and one here feeding that tank there, and then we've got the other tank under here. They're both galvanised, they were both on the allotment when I came, so these do take a while to fill up, and soon don't take long to empty either. But that's the core water collection on this plot. I am thinking about putting some sort of cover on this to collect some more water. Can always put a barrel at this end to collect it, just depending if I can get a bit more ply or something similar. I've got two spare barrels at the moment. I'm not sure whether I'm actually going to keep them now, because that would make an extra 400 litres for next year. I moved a barrel down to the fruit, the raspberry canes, and I've been using that. And the raspberry, all these rows of canes have actually had water. They are fruiting a lot now, and we've noticed that they're pumping out a lot more now since we've been watering them. Shouldn't have to water, they should be well established now. See, the raspberries, they soon go over quickly. Waste not, want not. Very sweet. Oh, even that one's just dropped off, so I'm doing something right. So we're back on plot 3 now. I haven't actually bought any water up into this plot. Everything is from the rainwater collection. I've had to prioritise the tomatoes, a definite priority. The roots are being left to their own devices. The cabbages in the brassica cage have never had any water, but they do look quite good, so hopefully they'll survive until we get some rain. I've limited the amount I've been giving to the sweet corn. The moisture does retain really well in there, so by the time we've poured it in there, it does stay there most of the day. And we are getting some brownness now, even though these have given their pollen. Hopefully it's got to the corn so that they fill out nicely. The giant cabbages have had water every day. I overwatered the Kelsey onions. They started to deteriorate and possibly gone a little bit soft at the bottom. Lettuce I haven't bothered with, it's bolted. Priority, the leeks. I've been giving these 7 litres each day, so 7 litres on the other plot and 7 litres on this one. So we've got 6 plants, 6 containers on this side and 6 containers on the other, hopefully to keep the leaf miner out. I've had to water that blueberry plant because the fruit started to shrivel. They're not going to recover, but hopefully now it's had some water it will give me a small amount of fruit. The rest of the fruit in the cage, it's fending for the cells. These are the only 2 zucchinis, courgettes I've got now. All the rest have been pulled out. I'm not wasting water on them, and 2 plants is more than enough. Jerusalem artichokes directly into the ground. No water since I've planted them. Long carrots, I haven't watered those for a month. Hopefully the tap roots will be far enough down now to find their own way. We won't know until the reveal. Exactly the same with the very long parsnips. Regular feeds and waters for the giant vegetables. Parsnips in the raised box. They haven't had water for quite a while. Neither of the carrots. These have had a little bit last week, but they're getting no more. Allotmentals hashtag jacket potato challenge has had regular water. Jerusalem artichokes in the pots, which are taller than the ones in the ground, have been having a little drop of water just to keep them alive. Hashtag Sarpomera seed potatoes. They've had some regular water and they've come out at different stages, but I do believe I've got some seed pods. Now someone's mentioned that they'd like some Sarpo seeds, so I'll be mentioning that channel in the description below. Please pay them a visit. Giant swede, regular water and feed, same as the beetroot. And I've just noticed that the seeds are just popping up now on the large moulet radishes. Baked dry, that is where the Jerusalem artichokes are. Radishes, they went to seed, no water. I've just been keeping these with a little bit of water. Hopefully they won't go to seed. Of course, we do keep the sunflowers moist, and since we've been spraying them, misting them with water, one of the 1-minute tips you'll find on my playlist, they are now really prolific. Can't pick them quick enough. Oh my god, who made that tall? I'm going to pick those beans. Look at that. Turn your back on them and that's near enough gone to seed. Take that off, else it'll stop. They'll just, you've got to keep picking. I think most of you know, but anybody new to long beans, you must keep picking them, else they'll stop flowering. As you can see now, lots and lots of young beans. The cobra beans, they've been prolific from the beginning, as always. That's got a little bit too big, but we don't mind. Regular watering on those as well. Celery. Now I've got to do something next year when I dig this all out, because you may be able to see the difference in the soil, but that one, when you pour the water in, the water goes down and into the bottom, so I may have to have some sort of filter at the bottom with some pebbles so that the water can get into the bottom. Once they get blocked up with the soil in there, it just fills up and then just filters slowly, but it's not enough water for what they need. My free peppers, just got a bit of transplant shock, and to save water I've removed the ones that nearly melted my lips. They're gone. One of the lettuces that was started good to seed, I picked it. I still haven't got it in the compost bin yet. They're not doing too bad considering the heat. Lettuces don't like heat. Spring onions are supposed to be in the ground, and these will be ready for picking now. Again, all the tomatoes get regular water. In the polytunnel we have no choice but to regular water. This is the yellow courgette. These are the shop bought tomatoes, and they're starting to come well now, so we'll see what they look like, the cherries. And we're getting a regular supply of cucumbers, and it won't get much bigger than that before I pick it. So much more tastier when they're that size. Giant pepper. I'm hoping it'll get bigger. I'm not sure whether it is, but I'm going to look back on my other video to see how that looks. I might have to get the measuring tape out. And the long chilies are starting to form. I'll pick the straightest one and then we'll cut the rest off. We'll get a bit of cardboard. Yum yum. The weather's doing that more good than the rest of the plot. Indoor carrots, they're drying out quickly. I don't water them now because they'll split. And I still must open one of these gem squashes up for you to see. I'm sure there were some more cucumbers over here. Not very big, but pick that off. And all the other flowers that are everywhere will form. I've limited the water to these inside, and they seem to be firm and solid. Maybe I'll get a good set of 3. Tomatoes are coming on now, but this polytunnel, big mistake. Far too much in here. Can't see what I'm doing. I'm treading on everything. Lesson learned. That looks nice. So on plot 3, we've got 180 litres in the polytunnel. Always leave your water in the polytunnel, fill your cans up, but the water's been hotter outside than it has been inside, but normally you would always keep water in the polytunnel so that it doesn't shock the plant. So we've got 200 litres there. I think these tanks are about 1200 litres galvanised, so we've got that there. This tank is now, I think it's empty, not quite. I've still got a wee bit in that one, and then underneath there you can see one, but there's 4 barrels under there, a total of, let's say 150, let's say 300 litres under there, 1000 litres there, 1000 litres here. So this roof, this whole roof, halfway down it drops into the other tank, the rest comes across down into this tank. This fills up, then we fill the tanks above it. 180 litres in these tanks on the polytunnel. Depending on which way the rain falls, depends on which tank fills up first. I used to have smaller barrels, but it kept overflowing. But a great asset to anybody's polytunnel. It's surprising, you can collect 180, 200 litres on each rainfall. Another galvanised tank, they're all similar sizes. And there's another 1000 litre IBC. We've got 3 200, 180 litre barrels. By the time I've cut the tops off and slotted the tops in, we lose a bit, so I'll call them 180 litres. There's 3 there. Taps there, turn the tap, fills this barrel at the bottom for easy scooping out with a can, or transferring straight to the other tanks, which we'll show you shortly. So the guttering's coming from the far side, cuts across, you probably can't see that very well, and it goes straight into that tank. When that tank's full, it overflows into the galvanised one below. There's the back end of those three, and there's the tank underneath. So now I'm probably down to about 1,000 litres. What I'll do, I'll just switch this one on. That'll finish draining that one pipe into that tank there. That'll keep this one full while I start pumping water about. So we've forecast thunderstorms now over the weekend, this coming weekend, and perhaps tonight, with a little bit of rain. Now this is the main tank. If this tank fills up, it overflows, it goes nowhere, so I've got to drain this one. And I'll switch the pump on there. So the pump in here is that the pump that cost me £12. So what do we do with the water? We need to fill our barrels, and I've normally got 2 barrels, one here, one over there. That's completely empty. There's about a quarter full. So that connectors can be undone on that. And now we can top this one up. All these barrels have got holes in. So any rainwater that falls on there can go through there inside. They've already got their little holes in to drain the lips. That isn't quite good enough, even though it does sit inside. We lose no rainwater, plus the water can't go green because it doesn't get enough light. So these 2 barrels are kept full normally through the winter. So are these. So all I do is pull this connector off and the water goes in here. This pipe work's gone because I needed it up at the other end to extend from the other tank. That would normally go around that way, and then that saves me carrying the water. So just imagine actually collecting water from there, carrying the 2 cans, around 2 can terry, all the way down the plot. That can be filling up whilst I'm watering, and I can keep an eye on it and it doesn't overflow and I don't lose precious rainwater. It's been very hard these last 6 to 8 weeks without rain. The 9,000 litres that I've got has lasted me quite a while, and hopefully we'll get these tanks topped up. If not, the wheelbarrow and my 3 cans will be paying more visits. Hope you found this informative, and that's what I've been doing. I've been restricting what watering I've been doing, prioritising crops, and with a bit of luck I'll get my just rewards. Thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.